Well, today's rally was the culmination of events to mark the EFF's 10th birthday. Julius Malema told those supporters that under the leadership of his party, South Africa will be better off. Mzwandile Mbeje, SABC News' political editor, joins us now. He's been there watching the action live. Mzwa, let's start with the sea of red that we saw. I mean, this is a 95,000-odd seater stadium, barring the people standing, and it did look like most of those seats were taken. Can you confirm that?
Absolutely, Francis. A very good evening to the viewers. This was really, it was packed to the rafters. In fact, they had to accommodate other supporters on the pitch. My own personal estimate is that this event easily attracted about 100,000 people, because you still had a number of people outside in the overflows. So they really attracted huge numbers. It was indeed, Francis, a sea of red.
So that is a show of strength that we haven't seen for a while. Do you agree, Mzwa?
Absolutely. In fact, the only political party which has been able to fill the stadium has been the governing party, the ANC, and then obviously other people or other parties have been using much smaller stadiums. But I think what the EFF did today was to demonstrate its ambition. Their ambition, Francis, they've been very open about it. They want to dislodge the ANC from being a governing party. And then, of course, if you want to dislodge those who are governing, do things that they have been doing. And I think this is what exactly they were doing here today, to say, well, you are the governing party, you are the only ones currently that has been able to fill the FNB stadium. Let's show you that we are taking you toe-to-toe. Let's also go on and fill the stadium. So it was a show of strength. And it's not just about it today, Francis. Remember, 9 months from now, obviously, if you calculate in terms of the election that needs to happen, we last had elections, I think, in May. So in 9 months, we should have another election, because the 5-year cycle would have been concluded. This is now about the election come 2024. So they are already flexing their muscle to say, we want to go out there, we want to show people that we have support, and then we will demonstrate that support practically. That's what they were doing here today.
And we'll see more rallies, of course, in the run-up to those polls. I mean, does today bode well? There was the show of support. It looked like security was in place. Things happened on time, and a great production was facilitated as well.
Indeed. I mean, I think we should give credit where it's due. To manage an event of this nature, so you would expect a number of logistical challenges. But from the organization point of view, it actually appeared to have worked very well. We have been told, Francis, that the leader of the party was expected to speak at 2 o'clock. He took to the podium at 24 minutes past 2. I mean, by all accounts, given these kinds of events, so that was basically on time. So clearly, if this is a foretaste of things to come, it may very well bode well for them. But as I've said before, it is the sustenance of this kind of a situation which will then determine if they are really on track, or it was one of those one-day events. Remember, this event has been publicized, and then they have been building up to it for the number of months. Clearly, people fell into it, and then this is their landmark here, 10th anniversary. So the question that would be very important, Francis, remember, as a political party, is not just about showing that you have the numbers. You must demonstrate that you have the numbers where it matters most, at the polls. Will these people who have converged here translate into what the EFF wants the most, the vote? Currently, they are the third biggest, so they have the ambitions of being number one. Will that be feasible? 9 months will be able to answer you and me, Francis.
Mzwa, we're about to get some analysis. I'm really interested to know the reaction of the crowd when Malema said something that he's been repeating over the last few days. He's been calling on BRICS countries to boycott the BRICS summit in a way as punishment for our president who has said, or our government who has said that it will arrest Russian President Vladimir Putin. He said, we are Putin and Putin is us, and we won't support the imperialists. How did that go down in the stadium?
Yeah. You know, one of the things that has been very evident here is that the generality of the people here definitely support Russia. They definitely support President Putin. And then, of course, that somehow did resonate with the crowds when he said, actually, President Putin is supposed to have come. So they did, I think, receive it quite well, clearly, which is in line with what you have been hearing from South Africans in general. I know that it's not just that South Africans think the same way, but if, Francis, you look at those who come from the background of the struggle, so they are very much in support of Russia and Putin. But of course, then you'd have those who are somehow opposed to it. So when Malema spoke about the issue of Russia and Putin, you could see that he was striking a chord that people really agreed with, because I think many people really wanted to see President Putin here in the country.
All right, thank you. We have to wrap it up there. Mzwandile Mbeje, SABC News' political editor.